And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. We've actually got a really disturbing one to discuss with you today. And today's live stream is going to be relatively long. There's quite a lot to cover, but essentially a new governmental report has exposed and shown that indeed fast food delivery chains are actively employing illegal migrants. Uber Eats, Just Eat, Deliveroo, all named in the government report. And essentially, what this means for sort of British patriots, a lot of them are now calling for you to stop using them. And my question is to you, will you join the boycott? Well, there is a lot to go through, including this government report, going through what the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp, has exposed the other day. I think yesterday we reacted to the Express. I think they were the first ones to make a little video going up to illegal migrants or catching illegal migrants coming out of asylum hotels and actually working for these delivery companies. Now, following that, as stated, the Home Secretary's job, the Home Office, all of these kind of things, people have theories that, of course, the Home Office are allowing this to happen. However, the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp, made an investigation video of himself, and then, of course, we're going to go into his reports and some more subsequent interviews that have broken today. But as always, guys, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get involved in the live chat. We'll be taking your reaction a little bit later on. But let's go into the first video from Chris Philp.
As Shadow Home Secretary, I received reports there was illegal working going on at an asylum hotel in central London by illegal immigrants. So I decided to go around and check it out. So we're at the hotel here. You can see there's a lot of Just Eat bikes here, a lot of Deliveroo bikes. Loads of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, loads and loads of these bikes here. They look as if they're being used for delivery company work. Uber Eats, I can see an Uber Eats bike over there as well. Lots and lots of these bikes here. So let's try and find out a bit more about what's going on. What's going on with you guys here? It's an asylum hotel. You guys have arrived here. I'm Chris. I'm a member of Parliament, just interested in learning a little more about what the story is here. How long have you guys been here for? Little whereabouts are you from? From
Yemen.
Yemen, you're from Yemen. Okay. And did you get here by boat?
No English.
No English? It sounds pretty good. What about you? Did you come here by boat? My name's Chris. I'm a member of Parliament here. Just looking to learn a little bit more about what the story is. So what's your name? I'm Chris.
I'm
Okay. And whereabouts are you from?
Iran.
From Iran. Okay. From Tehran or?
Sorry. You know.
You can if you want. It's a free country.
Yeah,
They can talk if they want, can't they? No. So I've just spoken to the shopkeeper in the shop behind me. He confirmed the hotel is an asylum hotel, and people, he said, arrived on small boats are now staying there. And he also said he's seen lots of the residents of the hotel doing work on Uber Eats, on Deliveroo, and those kind of companies. So obviously working illegally. So I'm back in Parliament now after visiting that asylum hotel last Friday. It's completely clear that the illegal immigrants who have now claimed asylum living there are working illegally. We saw all of the bikes, the Uber Eats bikes, the Just Eat bikes, the Deliveroo bikes parked in the hotel. Those sort of companies, Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Just Eats, claim that they stop illegal working on their platform, but that is clearly not working in practice. So I'll be raising this with the chief executives. But most seriously of all, the Home Office run that hotel. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, claims to be cracking down on illegal working, yet what I saw was illegal working happening from one of the very hotel sites that Yvette Cooper is responsible for running. She is presiding directly over illegal working on sites that she is funding with our money, with taxpayers' money. So I'll be raising that with Yvette Cooper as well.
So it'll be interesting to see what Yvette Cooper does say with regard to this. But as stated, living in asylum hotels, some of those individuals came over on boats. But whilst you do need to take it up with the Home Office, most certainly, you've also got to look at it from the actual delivery companies. As stated, the ones that we mentioned, the likes of Uber Eats, Deliveroo, and Just Eat, to name a few. There will be a lot more, but simply it is super easy. They say that they have to ID all of these individuals, but you can just get rental plans. Essentially, you can get a rental account, and as they advertise, easy withdrawals, all of these kind of things. And as I said, there's no wonder why illegal working is fueling the illegal immigration crisis, when anyone can just rent an account without any proper checks. So there is some responsibility needed to be had with these companies as well, because they claim that they ID absolutely everyone. They have to have the right to work there. But as you can see, you can just simply rent an account, and that's it. It's easier, pretty much. It's easier enough to do, which is absolutely disgusting. Now, Chris Philp, of course, did write to these companies, and essentially said what was Deliveroo CEOs, Just Eat CEOs, and Uber Eats CEOs. And essentially all of the notes that he said were: last Friday I visited Asylum Hotel in London and found clear evidence of illegal working for Deliveroo. The asylum seekers had entered the country illegally on small boats crossing the channel. These illegal immigrants not allowed to work as delivery drivers while their asylum claim is pending. But when I looked in the bike store at the hotel, I saw delivery bags for Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Just Eat on the bikes. A local shopkeeper told me that the asylum seekers are regularly seen riding out on the bikes with your logo on it to work for your company. The Deliveroo website in particular says before you can work with us, you will need to prove your identity as well as your rights to work. We'll ask you to provide a photo of your ID and right to work documents as well as a selfie or a video. However, it's clear these rights to work checks are not being done properly in practice, or that the logins are being shared. This could easily be stopped with frequent facial recognition checks and better document checks cross-referenced against government databases. Please, can you commit to removing any driver as a Deliveroo courier who does not have the right to work in the UK, including at this hotel site and also everywhere? I would also be grateful if you would set out further specific steps that you will take above what you can currently do, which is evidently not working, in relation to the site and more generally to prevent illegal working. This is important as the ability to work illegally is a pull factor for illegal immigration, and by allowing this to happen on your platform, you are fueling the illegal immigration crisis. And what Chris is saying there is absolutely correct. I mean, they're getting free digs. We're paying for them at the taxpayer's expense, £40,000 per year to be housed in them. Of course, their asylum claims are going through. They're being paid nothing. They're getting paid to live there, essentially. They're getting all their sort of stuff for free at our expense. And then on top of that, illegally working. So if they're illegally working, they're also not contributing to tax, so they're just taking home all that they make when they have no right to work in this country. They've committed a crime coming into the country by coming over on a boat, first and foremost, then rewarded with a hotel, and then secondly, are taking the piss by working. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, Chris, of course, did appear in a GB News interview that I'm going to go on to momentarily, and spoke a bit about it a little bit more. So, yeah, let's have a little watch of this as well, and then we'll get to the live chat momentarily.
As Shadow Home Secretary, I received reports there was illegal working going on.
Secretary Chris Philp has been very vocal about this. Chris Philp, morning to you. When I read this on the front page of The Sun yesterday, I thought, yeah, I thought this has probably been going on for years, because when they often clatter into me on their delivery bikes on the street and I remonstrate with them, they can't speak a word of English.
Yeah, well, look, I'm really concerned about this, and that's why last Friday I decided to pay a visit to one of these asylum hotels myself. I'd been tipped off there was one of these hotels in central London that was being used as a base for these illegal immigrants to run Deliveroo bikes and so on. Of course, the people in these asylum hotels have almost entirely crossed the channel by small boats, so they are illegal immigrants. And under the law, they are not allowed to work for the first year at all, and after the first year, only in certain specified professions, which does not include riding a Deliveroo bike. What I found when I got to this hotel was a compound. You may have seen the footage. I put it on Twitter, on my Twitter account. I found a compound full of bikes with Deliveroo Just Eat and Uber Eat bags on the back. I then spoke to some of the people living in the hotel, and it turned out they had indeed come to the UK by small boat, illegal immigrants. They were from Yemen and they were from Iran. I then spoke to a shopkeeper just over the road who said he had seen them coming and going the whole time with these Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Just Eat bikes. So it's very clear that massive illegal working is going on, and I think it's happening not just at that hotel, but at probably dozens of other hotels around the country.
How are they able?
And what is this?
Sorry, just sorry to interrupt you, but people will be going, how are they able to do it? On a practical level, they presumably have bank accounts into which their wages are being paid. How is it working?
So as far as I'm doing some more investigation into this, but as far as I can tell, what happens is somebody who does have the right to work here signs up to the Deliveroo service as a bike rider, and then they rent out their login details to an illegal immigrant. It's either that or Deliveroo, Just Eat and Uber Eats don't actually, they claim they do checks, that's what they say when you ask them, but maybe in practice they're not doing those checks. So clearly those companies, when they say, oh, it's all very strict, that is basically a lie, that is complete nonsense, it's not working in practice. They should be doing things like facial recognition checks using your mobile phone. You know, just like any of us, when we're unlocking our iPhone or whatever, you have a facial recognition check, they could do that quite easily. They're obviously not checking the paperwork properly. So these companies need to actually start policing this properly, but it seems to me their business model may well rely on using illegal immigrants, and they've got to stop doing that. But the Home Office are also at fault, because Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, is running this hotel. She is spending billions of pounds a year of our money accommodating currently 32,000 illegal immigrants in those hotels, and another 60,000 in apartments around the country, costing something like £4 billion a year of our money. And she is running a massive centre for illegal working. The Home Secretary is running one herself. Okay. So she needs to get that shut down straight away.
I hear about your
By the way, when I went
hang on, I want to ask you about
the security guard, hang on, let me make one more point.
No, I want to make you this point to you. Why are you not taking this up with Deliveroo? Why are Deliveroo not in the dock? Because they're breaking the law.
Yeah. Well,
what are you going to do about that?
Yesterday, I wrote to the Home Secretary saying, shut this down. I've written to the 3 chief executives of Deliveroo, Just Eat and Uber Eats, asking what's going on. I've asked the Home Office I've asked the Home Secretary to get immigration enforcement to take action against those 3 companies. They should be fined. They should have massive fines levied against them for what they're doing.
And by the way, they're based in Silicon Valley. This is the problem. If you're waving through all the massive technocratic trans-international companies, this is what you're going to be dealing with. Labour's Dame Angela Regal has said this, Chris Philp. Just 6 weeks ago, you voted against a new legislation that will make it illegal for delivery companies and other businesses in the gig economy to hire people with no right to work in this country. So what would you say to that? It's your fault. You're blocking Labour doing anything about it.
Well, I mean, that's obviously nonsense. First of all, Labour could shut the illegal working down straight away. They're running the hotel. When I went round there, the security guard was more interested in kicking me out because I was filming than he was about shutting down the Uber Eats bikes that were being run and Deliveroo bikes. So they could shut it down straight away. They're running the hotel. On the point about the bill, that bill that went through Parliament, we did vote against it because it contained a whole load of very bad things. For example, it repealed the Illegal Immigration Act, which we passed in government, which stops illegal immigrants from getting citizenship. It also repealed the Safety of Rwanda Act, which would allow the government to basically immediately deport all illegal immigrants upon arrival back to Rwanda, and their bill repealed that. So that's why we voted against it, because it did those very, very bad things. If they took those bad things out of the bill, yeah, of course we'd support the stuff on illegal working. Of course we'd support that. But the bill did a lot of other things that were very, very bad, and that's why we voted against it.
Chris, we've seen you and Robert Jenrick getting out there with your cameras, shining a light on crime and corruption in this country. Why were you not doing this when you were in government?
Well, look, I mean, when I was police minister, I delivered record ever police numbers. We started pushing the arrest rate up. We clamped down. We did all kinds of things in government. Got more people arrested. I think 40,000 more people got arrested during my last year as police minister compared to previously. But look, I mean, the last government did do a lot. They got the small boat numbers down by 30% last year, and now they're exploding under Labour because Labour have lost control of the borders. We got the Rwanda scheme where every illegal immigrant would have been immediately deported. That was ready to go. We had to pass a law to override the Human Rights Act and override Strasbourg. We finally got that done. The first plane was ready to go just after the election on the 24th of July, but Starmer cancelled it before it took off. And what has happened? There's been a surge in illegal immigration since then, and this year so far, 2025, has been the worst in history. And we've got plans to, we've put plans to votes in Parliament to restore the Rwanda deterrent, remove all illegal immigrants, remove all foreign criminals, have a binding annual cap on inward migration.
Right, well, yeah, I mean, that was towards the ending there. I mean, I don't need to hear about what the Tories were going to do or what they weren't going to do. They didn't do anything, so it doesn't really matter now. But he does make a point. Labour have done absolutely hee-haw as well, and to be fair, the numbers are going up. But my point is on this one, guys, is that, of course, these individuals now, yes, they're illegal immigrants, but now they're taking the piss even more and actually working. Getting free digs, staying at the hotel for freaking completely free, and then earning cash. This is mental. It's absolutely crazy. And this is something that's happening everywhere. So in terms of the British Patriot side of things, a lot of people going on social media at this moment in time and calling for a mass boycott of these companies and to stop ordering your food from the three mentioned. But there'll probably be quite a lot more, but Uber Eats, Just Eat, Deliveroo, all of these ones, of course, being caught hiring illegal immigrants that are currently living in asylum hotels, which is absolutely disgusting to see. Maybe let's take a little bit of the chats. Let's see what people are saying. Milo says, paying for accommodation, food, clothes, tax payers, and they're earning hundreds tax-free. People on minimum wage pay tax for them and taking off disabled PIP money. 1,000%. There you go. So as I said, we are already paying £40,000 per year for every individual to house them in these asylum hotels, and then on top of that, they're earning tax-free cash. And not to mention, we don't even know who these people are dealing with our food, delivering it off. You don't even know who these individuals are. And there's such a security risk from Uber Eats, Deliveroo, and Just Eat. That is food, by the way. People are eating this stuff, drinking this stuff. And we've got some individual that's not known, been in the country 2 minutes, and he's handling the food, handling the drinks. That's scary stuff, by the way. So I would be boycotting for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, much of the comments are the same, but most certainly it's something that needs to be clamped down on, for sure, 100%. Let's see. But are you going to be boycotting? Let me put a little poll in there. Are you going to be boycotting these companies? Or is it a means to an end for you? Do you guys need to use these companies to get food? Are you boycotting? Let's have a little look. That's what the Patriots are saying on social media. Let's see what people are saying. That's also true, by the way. Robert says, all the major supermarkets are using them. It's like a UN delegation queuing up deliver orders. Some actually refuse, and orders containing alcohol have been going on for years. Yeah, but there was a point there where one of the news hosts, I think, in that interview with Chris Philp, did state that none of them speak English. They don't. They probably are fresh off the boat. But this is something that's happening right under the government's noses, and to be fair, these companies as well need to be held accountable. Manda says, I've never used those services. Interesting. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's carry on the conversation down there in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this sort of governmental report. And yeah, are you going to be boycotting these delivery companies? Let me know down there in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe.